When Ethan Cole walked into that quiet roadside diner wearing an old leather jacket and faded jeans, no one there knew he was one of the richest men in the country. They saw a tired traveler, not a man who could buy the entire street with a single call. But when the waitress slipped a folded note into his hand instead of the bill, a note trembling with words written in rushed blue ink, something inside him shifted forever. That single moment, that single note, would soon rewrite both their lives in ways neither of them could have imagined. Ethan Cole had spent his entire adult life in boardrooms, luxury suites, and private jets. His billion-dollar company, Cole Industries, was known for transforming small businesses into global powerhouses. Yet, despite all the noise, the applause, and the endless race for more, he felt nothing. His success had bought him everything, except peace. It was one quiet Friday evening when he found himself driving aimlessly through a small town miles from his usual world. The night air smelled of wet asphalt and pine trees. He hadn't planned to stop, but a flickering neon sign caught his eye, Maggie's Diner, open late. Something about it, maybe the loneliness it radiated, or maybe the simplicity, made him pull over. He parked his sleek black car out of sight and stepped inside, blending into the humble glow of the place. A bell jingled as he entered. The diner was nearly empty, a trucker sipping coffee, a young couple sharing fries, and behind the counter, a waitress with tired eyes and a messy ponytail. Her name tag read, Clara. She smiled, the kind of smile people wear when they're holding their world together with invisible threads. "Welcome to Maggie's," she said softly. "Table for one." "Yes, please," Ethan replied, lowering his voice. He didn't want to be recognized. For once, he didn't want to be Mr. Cole, the billionaire. He just wanted to be a man ordering a steak at midnight. He sat near the window. The air smelled like coffee and grilled butter. Clara brought him water, her hand trembling slightly as she set it down. "We're out of sirloin tonight, but we've got ribeye," she said with an apologetic grin. "Ribeye's fine," he answered. As she turned away, Ethan's gaze lingered. There was something different about her, something quiet but powerful. Every time she smiled at a customer, it seemed she was forcing herself not to break. Minutes passed. The old jukebox hummed softly in the background. Ethan scrolled his phone, then stopped. For the first time in years, he didn't feel the urge to check stocks or emails. He just watched her move through the diner, polite, patient, kind to everyone. When she brought his food, he noticed the faint bruises on her wrist, small, purple shadows she hadn't hidden well. "Thank you," he said, his voice calm but warm. She nodded, gave a faint smile, and walked off. But something about those bruises unsettled him. He finished half his steak before noticing her wiping a tear behind the counter. She quickly turned away when she realized he was looking. Ethan hesitated. He wanted to ask if she was okay, but what right did he have? He was just a stranger in her diner. When he asked for the check, Clara approached with the same gentle smile. But when she placed the folded paper beside his plate, she whispered almost inaudibly, "Please, just read it later." Confused, Ethan nodded. She turned away before he could respond. He slipped the paper into his jacket pocket and left a generous tip, a habit he'd formed long ago. Then he walked outside, the cool night air hitting his face. He got into his car, unfolded the note, and his heart sank as he read the hurried words written in blue pen. "If you're not who you seem, please help me. My daughter is in danger. He's coming back tonight." Ethan froze. His eyes darted back toward the diner window, where Clara was still serving the trucker, pretending nothing had happened. His mind raced. Who's coming back? What danger? He thought about calling the police, but something told him she wouldn't have trusted him with that note if she hadn't already tried. Moments later, as he was debating, the door of the diner swung open. A tall man in a dark jacket stumbled in, his voice rough. Clara flinched when she saw him. Even from his car, Ethan could see her body tense up. Without thinking, Ethan got out and walked back in. The man slammed his hand on the counter. "Where's my money, Clara?" he barked. The entire diner went silent. Clara stepped back. "I told you, I'll get it soon. Please don't do this here." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Is there a problem?" he asked calmly, stepping closer. The man turned, his eyes narrowing. "Who are you?" Just a customer, Ethan said, locking eyes with him. But I think you should leave her alone. The men laughed bitterly. Stay out of this, old man. Clara's voice cracked. Please, don't. Before he could reach her, Ethan stepped forward. His voice dropped lower, cold and firm. You should go before I make a call you'll regret. The men glared, then smirked, muttering something under his breath before storming out. The bell above the door jingled violently as it slammed shut. Clara stood frozen, trembling. You shouldn't have done that, she whispered. I wasn't going to sit there and watch, Ethan replied. Is your daughter safe? Her eyes filled with tears. She's at home. He's my ex. He found where we live. I've been saving to move away, but he keeps taking everything. I didn't know who else to ask. Ethan's heart ached. He dealt with ruthless people all his life, but this was different. This was someone cornered, terrified, trying to survive. Clara, he said softly, I can help you. You just have to trust me. She shook her head. You don't even know me. Maybe not, Ethan said, but I know what it's like to feel trapped. She stared at him, unsure what to believe. But the sincerity in his eyes silenced her doubt. He took out a card, no logo, just his name and number. Call me tomorrow, he said. No matter what happens tonight. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He sat by his phone, waiting. At 7 a.m., it rang. It was Clara, her voice trembling but alive. He came back, but the police took him. You called them, didn't you? Ethan smiled faintly. I made a few calls, yes. Tears filled her voice. Thank you. I don't even know your real name. Ethan hesitated, then said softly, It's Ethan Cole. There was silence. The Ethan Cole, she whispered. Yes, he admitted. But last night, I was just a man eating a steak, and a woman's courage changed my life. Weeks later, Clara and her daughter had a new home, a new start, funded quietly through a community support grant Ethan set up in her name. And as he sat in his office months later, surrounded by glass walls and success, Ethan framed that note on his desk. The message that once asked for help now reminded him of something he'd almost forgotten, that real wealth isn't built in skyscrapers, it's found in moments of kindness, courage, and connection. Sometimes, the smallest note can change the biggest heart.